Hi there, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to show you exactly how much it cost us in today's Nigeria to build this 5-bedroom duplex with a paint house from the foundation to the DPC level. Telling you the details of material and of course the construction activities that went on to achieve this. Stay tuned as we take you through the process. So, in our previous video, we showed the process of setting out on how we excavated and got this project from foundation to the block laying level. So today, we are going to continue from there to the filling, to the casting of DPC and telling you exactly how much it took to bring this project to that level. Now, like we mentioned earlier, because of the nature of the land, we had to ensure that the foundation is high. And of course, this comes with a chain beam running around the foundation area and of course, linking all the necessary points to ensure the stability of the foundation. And soon after this was achieved, then the filling of the foundation with lateral started. Unfortunately, we anticipated that this was going to take about a week, but the nature of the site and the spaces we had was actually a very difficult one. So to bring in sand was difficult. It's a site that everyone around there is building, so it's actually posed a kind of problem to bring in enough materials. However, the filling of sand continued with laterite and condemned sharp sand. And of course, this added to the cost of the project. You know, initially we had already anticipated how much it was going to cost to fill this project. But because of the distance, the sand was tipped and the distance the people carrying it had to use wheelbarrow to push it to the site. The whole thing increased our cost. But by the end of the day, we were able to fill the entire space. Now, there are a lot of things that needs to be considered here. When filling foundations like this, because it is high, you need to ensure that there is something at the other side before you fill this particular partition to the brim, because if not, once the pressure of the sand pushes this one, it may lead to a crack on the wall at the other side, and that may pose a problem. And in some cases, it may even push down the wall. So here we ensured that we kept on filling one step after another until we got to the top of the DPC. And of course, there was water inside this foundation. So as we were filling, of course, the water was already soaking. And by the end of the day, we also had to water the top to ensure that everything is well compacted. So the filling continued, one trip after another, until the whole foundation was filled to the brim and of course topped with something. And after that, we had to water the entire foundation, and after watering it, Of course, the next step is to compact, which we did, compact the whole thing. And by the end of the day, the foundation was ready to receive the overside concrete. So at this level, we also had to introduce the beam, which is a chaining beam that chained all the columns together, and of course binding the entire DPC and the entire building together. Remember, in this building we also had a ground beam that ran through all the places that we had walls, through all the foundation spaces, as a matter of fact. So here is the iron bender is done with his work, and now the carpenter is doing the carpentry work for the DPC to come on. So this is the work that is being done here, as you can see. As at here, we took delivery of the material we needed for the casting of the DPC, and of course by then we have already received our cement, and here we are compacting. After watering the entire foundation for some days, we are now compacting it to ensure that the soil settles well. Then of course lay our damp-proof membrane before the casting of the DPC. Now by the time the DPC was completed, it was noticed that the following materials had been used. And of course, this started from the setting out, all the materials used in the setting out. And this includes 1 bag of 2 inches nails, 2 bags of 3 inches nails, 2x2 board, 2x2 wood was 4 to 5. The lines that were used for the setting out and all were 8. Then we had to buy 5 shovels and 5 headpans. Now, because of the distance from which we had to carry our sand, we had to buy 3 wheelbarrows. Then the total number of cement used from the foundation of this project to this DPC was 120. Then the sand that we used to lay the blocks and of course to do the casting was 2 trips of the 15 tons. Then we used 20 tons of chippings. Then the 16 rods that were used were 24 lengths. That's 24 lengths of 16 rods. Then the 12 rods were 67 lengths. 8 rods were 30 lengths. Then the binding wire was 1 roll of the 20 kg. Then of course the 9 inches blocks were 1,000 pieces. Then the filling sand we used was the 15 tons truck, that's 10 trips. Then the sand gravel which we used were 5 trips. Then of course we used the 20 kg of the damp-proof membrane. Then the boards we used were 70 of them. So the total cost of the material used to bring this project from the foundation to this DPC level, following the prices we got from our market surveyor, is 589,000 naira, while the total cost of labor, which includes the excavation, the iron bending work, the carpentry work, the block laying, and of course the casting, was 1,200,000 naira. And this brought the total cost from foundation to DPC of labor and material to 8,789,000 naira. Thank you for being with us this far, and see you in our next one.